next? Well, the battle in Haryana has witnessed some landslide victories and close contests as well, with margins ranging from 98,000 to as low as 32 votes. Yes, you heard that correctly, 32 votes. This has been the state of affairs when it comes to Haryana elections. We'll in fact get to talk about it. We'll try and understand some of the permutations and combinations and what led to perhaps one of the biggest shockers or jolts to a political party in a long time is also something that we're going to be discussing. Jammu and Kashmir, of course, on to a new innings with the NC taking the lead with the help of the Congress party. The BJP has not done too badly, but first of all, I'm going to cut across to my colleague Pia, who's going to take us through some of the prominent candidates who in fact alluded to the concept and the theme of their parties and were victorious. Pia, over to you.
Indeed, as you put it, we've seen some very interesting and fascinating fights in both Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana, but some stunning superlatives in particular from Haryana. And let's take our viewers through a couple of these. These are the biggest margins that we'll first take you through. In Firozpur Jirka, the Congress party has bagged 1,30,000 votes, winning by a margin of 98,441 votes from the Bharatiya Janata Party candidate. Next up in Gari Sampla Kiloi, Bhupinder Hooda has captured 1,08,539 votes, winning by a margin of 71,465 votes from the Bharatiya Janata Party's candidate. But apart from this, in Gurgaon, another very interesting battle where we see a large margin of 68,445 votes. The BJP, of course, won the vote over here with 1,22,615 votes. Meanwhile, an independent candidate stood second with 54,570 votes in Gurgaon. But this is not all. There are several other constituencies that have seen these large margins. In Badshahpur, the Bharatiya Janata Party bagged 1,45,503 votes. The Congress came second with 84,789 votes, and the margin is 60,705 votes. Another interesting battle has been witnessed in Panipat rural, again won by the Bharatiya Janata Party, that bagged 1,079 votes. Of course, going far ahead by almost twice the amount of votes as compared to the Congress candidate over here. But this is not all. An interesting battle was also fought in Faridabad. Here again, the BJP winning this seat with 93,651 votes, as opposed to the Congress that came second with 45,263 votes, and the margin here is 48,388 seats. In New, in particular, we see Aftab Ahmed of the Congress party bagging 91,833 votes, as opposed to the INLD candidate who bagged 44,870 votes, pitting the margin at 46,963 votes. In Patodi, the Bharatiya Janata Party has been victorious with 98,519 votes, which is 46,530 more votes than the Congress party candidate, who ended up standing second. In Tigao, this also witnessed one of the biggest margins, with the Bharatiya Janata Party having bagged 94,229 votes, as opposed to an independent candidate who stood second with 56,828 votes, and the margin here was 37,401 votes. So these are, of course, some of the biggest margins we can see in Panipat city as well. Bharatiya Janata Party's Pramod Kumar Vij bagged 81,750 votes, which is 35,672 more than the Congress candidate, who ended up standing seconds. But we've taken a look at the biggest margins. Let's also take a look at some of the smallest margins. Here, of course, is Uchchana Kalan, which is seen. Look at this number over here. 32 votes it just goes on to prove how valuable every single vote is in an election. The BJP bagged 48,968 votes, which was 32 more votes than that which was bagged by the Congress candidate in Dabwali. The INLD has ended up winning this seat by a margin of 610 votes. It's of course soared ahead of the Congress party in this particular seat. This is not all. We've also seen some very close contests in Loharu in particular, where the Congress party has bagged 81,336 votes as opposed to the BJP that bagged 80,544 votes. The margin, a measly 792. So, of course, we see the Congress party yet again edge ahead in Rohtak. Now, this is, of course, a constituency where the final round of votes are being tallied. As of now, the Congress party is leading. These are results till 5:30 p.m. that we're showing, leading by a margin of 1,341 votes. This, of course, the BJP is currently in the second position over here. There's of course a little time left, and whether the BJP will be able to forge ahead remains to be seen. But in Adhampur, we see something very, very similar. Here itself, the votes have not been tallied till now. The Congress party has taken the lead with 64,955 votes. The BJP's Bhavya Bishnoi standing second with 63,685 votes, and the margin is a mere 1,613 votes. These are, of course, data till 5:30 p.m. That we are reporting up until now. But there are some other constituencies that have seen close battles where the result has been declared. One of them is Sadhora, where the Congress party has ended up winning this seat by a margin of a mere 1,699 votes. The BJP again standing second in this particular seat. In Dadri, we again see this time the Bharatiya Janata Party having won this seat by a margin of 1,957 votes, with its candidate bagging 65,568 votes, as opposed to the Congress party that has fallen short by a mere 1,957 votes in this particular seat. These are some of the closest battles that have been fought, that attest to the fact that every single vote is very, very precious for these candidates. Another key battle, Panchkula, two very big faces over here. Chandar Mohan has bagged 67,397 votes, as opposed to Gyan Chand Gupta of the Bharatiya Janata Party, who has ended up securing 65,400 votes. The margin, of course, 1,997. Another very, very close call is in Pundri, where the Bharatiya Janata Party has ended up winning this seat as opposed to an independent candidate who stood second by a margin of 2,197 votes. So we've seen the superlatives as far as the largest vote margins and the smallest margins are concerned. Haryana, of course, has witnessed some very, very interesting fights, but that is not all. We've seen some very interesting battles in Jammu and Kashmir as well. Back to you, Vineet, for a very riveting discussion with our guests.
Yeah, thank you for that elaborate and that well orchestrated discussion and that presentation on how close the margins were, what kind of a race were most of these VIP candidates looking at, and what the results have turned out to be. We'll talk about this with our guest. Joining us at this point in time is Jasmine Sandhavalia, BJP spokesperson. Mr. Amit Raina, author and activist, joins us on the program as well. Advocate Chandni Preeti Shah, political analyst, joins us on the show as well. Mrs. Smith Singh, Congress spokesperson, also with us on the program. Jasmine Sandhavalia, I'll begin with you. Well, you know, once again the exit polls got it dead wrong. You know, predicted hung assembly in Jammu and Kashmir. You know, a far cry for the Bharatiya Janata Party even to make it, you know, beyond 30 by most of the dedicated exit polls as well. But here we are. The Bharatiya Janata Party is going to be forming the government in Haryana for a third consecutive time. Anti-incumbency, the Jat community being upset with the Bharatiya Janata Party, the restless agitation, the farmers' agitation, women's safety, all of these things, even water crisis and rainwater problems in Haryana did not stop the Bharatiya Janata Party from coming back. What do you think the reason behind this was? We heard from the Congress leadership just a few minutes ago. They are saying that the EVMs are to be blamed. There have been some discrepancies that they will be looking into. Your thoughts?
Well, till yesterday, I was taking the flak from all the anchors that everybody was giving a clean sweep to Congress in Haryana. And today we stand vindicated that we've done the hat trick. And after 10 years of our regime in Haryana, the voter of Haryana has reimposed his or her faith in the BJP. You see, when we were, all this time, we were connected to the worker, we were connected to the voter of Haryana, and it was very, very clear to us that just 3 months back, nobody was paying heed to the fact that out of the 9 parliament seats, we had won 5. So there was really not that severe an anti-incumbency against us. We won 5 parliamentary seats just 3 months back. So if we did marginally better in the other 4, this is the result that we got, and we focused on it, that we had to do a better job. And the infrastructure in the last 10 years, whether the opposition or the critics like or not, was something which we could talk about to people. On the farmers issue, the farmers did understand that Narendra Modi, our Honorable Prime Minister, has always kept the farmers center stage, and their welfare will always be taken care of, and it will be center stage for us. And development and equal opportunity to all segments of society, whether it be the OBC, the Jats, or anybody who is in Haryana, irrespective of their caste and creed and religion, was important to us. And all these things translated into our victory. And of course, our candidates worked very hard and our workers worked very hard. And I also want to say that it is the voter has again reimposed his faith in our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, that they believe what he says and the promises that he keeps. So our victory is something which has put the Congress, the Congress has to rethink and revamp its strategy, because under no circumstances have they won, and they have been creating such a hoopla about it that they were going to sweep. Today, Kumari Shelja or Bhupinder Hooda, till yesterday, were being considered as that who is going to be the chief minister, but the voter of Haryana has reimposed his faith again in BJP, and we rest our case on that eventually honesty and hard work and delivery and good governance does pay.
Okay. Chandni, how do you look at this election? There is a lot that was going, for the Congress party. There was an anti-incumbency wave. But of course, the Congress itself is saying that perhaps infighting and underestimating the Bharatiya Janata Party led to this kind of a result. How is, the Congress party poised at this point in time? Because it's important to understand, the granular details of how each party is doing and why they lost, because we have tons of elections coming up in the next few months. And, it's going to be perhaps more or less the same issues that all these parties will be treading upon.
Vineet, let's be, first of all, congratulations to Bharatiya Janata Party for this sweeping victory. BJP, I think, has learned from their past mistake from the Lok Sabha elections. They were overconfident then. This time they stay grounded. That time they also, I guess, kind of neglected the RSS, which they haven't this time. And I think BJP has gone back to the old way of, booth planning and the RSS working on the ground silently, which has actually created an impact which nobody saw. Congress, on the other hand, became very overconfident after the Lok Sabha elections. And because of that, they rejected the proposal of Aam Aadmi Party, that the Aam Aadmi Party wanted to ally with them and they wanted to contest on 6 seats, and instead of that they contended on all the 90 seats. which did nothing else but it broke the votes for the Congress at some point of time. Congress also sidelined their main contenders like Kumari Selja, and whether they accepted, they deny it, it doesn't matter, because it was very, very evident by whatever statements were given out by Kumari Selja herself. The caste card, the wrestler card, the Agniveer card, they were outright rejected by the Haryana voters, right? So I think that this is a thumping victory for BJP, because they, as I said, have learned from their mistakes, and BJP is a party that I think, accepts whatever the people's mandate is. I have never seen Bharatiya Janata parties, anybody saying that, okay, Jammu Kashmir mein ye log jeet rahe hain, to EVM is broken, EVM is hacked, ECI is doing some gadbad. They'll never say that. Whereas Congress has always used these tactics. Even in the Lok Sabha elections also, if you remember, Jairam Ramesh had alleged that Amit Shah had called 150 DMs, and he was trying to manipulate the elections and all. And when ECI had asked for the details, he was not able to provide that. He hasn't been able to provide even 4 months after so. All these allegations and all these, Congress is like, it's a crybaby thing, they'll always be crying over losing. They are sore losers, I would say, whereas BJP is a triumphant winner, is how I see these elections.
Okay,
as.
let's also get in Smith Singh, Congress spokesperson, to respond to what you have said. Okay, they're not with us at this point in time. Amit. All right. Well, we are talking about Haryana, but obviously you're a keen observer of what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir as well. It's directly connected to you. But before we move on to that, give us a general sense of how do you see these elections coming to terms? What are the factors and the key issues that were consolidated by the Bharatiya Janata Party that were spread across and perhaps led to some sort of a doubt, not only in the party's mind, but also in the voters' mind? But here the results are. The EVMs, of course, have worked for the Congress party in the past as well, and they have worked for the Bharatiya Janata Party this time.
See, one needs to understand that the difference of strategy between the two parties. Bharatiya Janata Party, somewhere in November, December, realized that they have a problem in Haryana, and they immediately went into action to correct that problem, to resolve that. Starting with the changing of the Chief Minister. Now, if you look at the way the Chief Minister has operated of Haryana, from the moment he took over the office, he has not been at home, he has not been the same office. He has been traveling the entire state, meeting people, addressing rallies, addressing concerns, doing Janata rally. So there has been an effort from the Bharatiya Janata Party to address the shortcomings of what people perceive about that government. Second is they have been able to maintain and hold to the strongholds that were there with them in the earlier elections. So while it is the GT road, the stronghold, it is the Haryana urban stronghold, Gurgaon, Faridabad, they have been able to hold. They have also been able to make inroads into the Jat community. While it was being said, it is Jat community is now with Congress, and majority of them did vote for Congress. I think 67 to 70% Jats have voted for Congress, but 30% did not vote for Congress, and that also helped. Also, they have been able to capitalize on the losses of JJP. Now, JJP voter is traditionally an anti-Congress voter. So that IND voter moved into as a JJP voter and now was not happy with JJP and was looking for a non-party. So they were able to capitalize into some of that vote bank, and that also helped. So that also brought in the Jat voter, which was being said that it is not a traditional vote for Congress's biggest reason, and I don't think they learned from their mistakes. They did the same mistake in Chhattisgarh, and they went on to repeat the same mistake in Haryana. That was their overconfidence. What is more important is that people of Haryana have gone and punished Congress for the divisive policies they have been trying to promote. See, आपने वो कास्ट का कार्ड तो खेल लिया, संविधान खतरे में है, वो कार्ड भी खेल लिया, but they don't realize that people are not fools. It works once. काट की हंडी बार बार नहीं चढ़ती है. It worked once. People realized that they have been fooled, and it bounced back on. Third important thing which Congress failed in was addressing the concerns of the Dalit Samaj. The sidelining of Shailja did impact Congress, because somewhere the Dalit Samaj did feel that while Congress talks about empowering Dalits, jitni sankhya utna power, but the way Shailja was sidelined did impact Congress numbers in. Moving to Jammu and Kashmir, this has been a bad day for Congress. While they can go and claim that they had a victory in Jammu and Kashmir, they did not have any victory in Jammu and Kashmir. Out of around, I think they contested around 37, 38 seats in Jammu and Kashmir, and they have won only 6 seats. Today, even National Conference is regretting that why did they take Congress as their alliance partner, because they did not meet them. So they have failed in Jammu and Kashmir, they have failed in Haryana. And in Jammu and Kashmir, the interesting part is the EVMs, which helped National Conference win, are the EVMs which have worked perfectly, and the EVMs where Congress lost are the EVMs which do not work perfectly. So instead of blaming a constitutional body, instead of blaming machines, they need to go and introspect that what is going wrong with their party, and that is most important thing. Now moving to the results of Jammu and Kashmir, I think Bharatiya Janata Party has not done so well. They have done decently well. They have done their best ever numbers. Last best number was 25, doing at 29, was also within the expected range of mine, which was, I was hoping that they will do between 28 to 32. Where they have failed is, one, creating credible partners in Kashmir. Bharatiya Janata Party will have problems gaining vote share in Kashmir, but you can always go and create credible partners. Unfortunately, they decided on the strategy of presenting old wine in a new bottle. So representing Sajjad known and known separatists, it did not go with the BJP's image and ideology. Presenting and aligning with Bukhari Saab also does not suit BJP's ideology. So why may you can publicly go and say that they are not our partners? The whole world knows that they have the blessings of Bharatiya Janata Party in center. Also introducing AIP into the play has backfired again on the independence, has given an edge to National Conference. Had their partners performed well in the Kashmir part of it, probably the situation would have been different today, and there would have been an hung assembly and mathematics being worked out of who's going to form the government.
Okay. Just hold on to that thought. You know, we've heard so much about what the BJP did right. Let's also get in Ms. Smith Singh, Congress spokesperson, into this conversation, and get some insights as to what's going on over here. Smith Singh, if you can hear me, thank you for speaking with NewsX.
Hello, Vineet. Sorry, I think we are having a bad day today with the internet as well.
No problem. Yeah. Well, it's, I mean, I don't know what to ask you. It's just the general disappointment that I can see on your face. And I'm sure the party high command also feels very, very saddened, because, this was, like a winning horse that you bet on and you still lost. All the odds were in your favor. You were riding on the flops that the BJP had to endure in the Lok Sabha elections, and the Congress found itself on the streak of victory. Do you think that streak has been disrupted now, and it will also have a bearing, a repercussion on the next few assembly elections in the next few months?
See, as a political person who works among the masses, and as a party who is very serious about raising people's issues and fighting for the idea of India, I think we are looking at as a glass half full. We have a vote margin more or less same as the BJP, 39% in Haryana. We are forming a government in Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, we are not forming a government, it appears, in Haryana, but we have issues as well. There was very small margins in many seats, and there are complaints from 4 districts that first of all, the issue of rounds being not updated on ECI website. Second, a lot of people are saying that counting was stopped, restarted, recounting happened. So we are compiling all those complaints and sending to ECI. And after that also, there is another complaint of the EVMs, that the EVMs which were 99% battery had BJP winning, and the EVMs with a 60-70% battery had Congress winning. So there are all these complaints, and after all that, there's 39% vote share for Congress, more or less the same as BJP. So people of Haryana have voted for the Congress party, that is very clear. Yes, we were not able to convert them into seats, or something wrong was done. That is to be found out. But in both ways, there's lessons to be learned. And I think Congress is doing the right thing. It is raising people's voice, is fighting for the farmers, fighting for the youth, and this is a long battle, and we'll keep on doing it. And you should also congratulate us for forming a government in Jammu Kashmir, which has been under the Lieutenant Governor and the central government for so many years. So people have said that they want a change. Their democratic voice has spoken, and Congress and NC are going to form a government there.
Right, and you take pleasure in the fact that is that going to in fact offset the loss that you have endured in Haryana?
See, I think people have definitely voted with 39%. Give us 1-2 days to figure out what actually happened. Let all these complaints come together and go to the ECI. Margins are very strong. Recounting is happening. Why is it happened? And if after all this, it's very clear that there is a dynamic problem out there that we were not able to convert into seats, the party is going to find a solution for that. So I don't think so. This is a major loss. We want 5 MP seats from Haryana. Now we have a 39% vote share equal to BJP. So people are voting for the Congress party. People are resonating with the issues we are raising, and Congress will keep on doing that.
Okay, all right. Jasmine Sandhavalia, the Congress obviously is not deterred by these results, but the same question that I asked Smith as well. What does this mean for the multitude of assembly elections that are lined up, including in Delhi and Maharashtra for the Bharatiya Janata Party? Even in Maharashtra, there is an atmosphere, I wouldn't call it doom, but definitely gloom for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Is that going to be affected as a result of this positive news coming out of Haryana?
Well, elections are fought on perceptions, as it is very famously said, and I think it will be an advantage to us that we have won Haryana. It should translate into creating a perception that we are doing very well, and to win Haryana for the 3rd time is not a small thing.
Definitely.
And when everybody, whether it was the exit polls or in the media, everybody was talking that BJP was done and dusted in Haryana, and that it was going to be a clean sweep in Haryana for the Congress. The results are very reflective of the mood of the people, and the astute voter of an aspirational India now is very difficult to judge. I'm noticing that even in the parliament elections, the exit polls went wrong, and now again the exit polls are going wrong. The voter of India, I think, is becoming very astute and is not sharing his or her
we are becoming like the Americans.
Opinion on who he is voting. I would think that in Delhi we should be doing very, very well, because we won all the parliament seats in Delhi. And in Maharashtra also, the results of Haryana should have very large implications and ramifications for us. And the opposition parties are unfortunately not understanding that BJP is one of the most disciplined party when it comes to going to war in an election. We are into 24/7 mode of electioneering. It is not done as a vocation for us. It's a vocation for us. And we are very hopeful that the results in Delhi and even in Maharashtra should be very good for us.
Chandni, the issues were aplenty in Haryana. We'll also talk about Jammu and Kashmir. But obviously for me, the more deciding factor, more the decisive factor for a party's dominance is definitely emanating out of Haryana at this point in time. There was much ado about unemployment issues. There were e-governance reforms, like the Parivar Pehchan Patra, the Mera Fasal Mera Bureau, initiative, which was also kicked off in Haryana, which, according to the Congress, led to a lot of dissatisfaction between the urban rich as well as the rural rich, the farmers in Haryana. But all of that seems to be water under the bridge. What do you think people exactly voted for? Let me also, put a, addition at the end of this question, that a lot of people also wrote off the Prime Minister, saying that his clout and his image and his personality was no longer responsible in gravitating votes towards the Bharatiya Janata Party, but they all seem to have fallen flat on their face.
Vineet, Narendra Modi has been the face of Bharatiya Janata Party for the longest time. Since he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, that I would say, he has had a very powerful impact on the country from the time he was the CM of Gujarat. Right now, after he came to the power as the PM, and today, as we see this, what today we've seen in Haryana is nothing else but pro-incumbency vote. Right? As I said, they worked on the ground. And what I see, what I feel is that RSS is back, working for the BJP on the ground, which has drastically helped BJP in gaining the votes. The plot of Congress to divide the people on the basis of caste lines, that has miserably failed, right? Wrestlers is not just Haryana, and Haryana is not just wrestlers. This is the line I'm actually taking from Sumit Peer, and he rightly said this, that the wrestling community is not just Haryana, the sport community is not just Haryana, and there's a lot of things that the Haryana has voted for. For example, when Khattar ji was having anti-incumbency, BJP came into action. They brought into the picture Nayab Saini, who actually worked for the betterment of the state. He actually provided MSPs to the farmers. He, he gave 10% reservation to the Agniveer people also, those people who would go into Agniveer. So it is not like they did not address the problem. BJP delivered, BJP not just addressed, BJP also delivered right before the election. So it's not just big talks that the Bharatiya Janata Party did, it is also the things that it delivered within the anti-incumbency period, when it was showing that, the people's...
Yeah, but this also brings me to the question, Amit Raina, that what happened to this talk in Jammu and Kashmir? How do you explain these contrasting fates for the Bharatiya Janata Party? That's for Amit. That's for Amit.
Okay, sorry.
See, one needs to understand that Jammu and Kashmir is a very heterogeneous state. It is not like this. And one must understand that Jammu thinks differently from Kashmir. Jammu tends to be more nationalist than Kashmir.
Definitely.
Jammu tends to be more in agreement with what is right for the nation than what is right for the state. Also, the politics of this valley over the years has been politics of keeping them separate from rest of the India. This vote which NC got in Valley, mostly predominantly in Valley, is not only a vote for NC, it is vote against the return of Kashmiri Pandits. It's the vote against the integration of India, Kashmir with India psychologically. So there has been a problem, and there has to be work done on this. Unfortunately, I blame BJP for this, that they have not been able to cultivate the leadership that should have come in place and replace the existing leadership. They still, and I repeat myself, that they went and still betted on wrong horses, presenting the old wine in new bottle. You had done an excellent job by bringing in grassroots democracy, by conducting panchayat elections, by doing Zilla elections, DDC elections. But you did not support the candidates who wanted to fully integrate.
Somebody has their television turned on. Can I please request you to not turn on your television? We can definitely hear a strong feedback coming in the audio. We can't hear Amit properly. Amit, let's try again.
So I was saying is that BJP faulted on one parameter, is that while this started quite well, they brought in grassroots democracy to Jammu and Kashmir. They could not sustain it. They should have found ways. And when I say BJP, I mean the central government. They should have found ways to promote the leaders which came up through this grassroots democracy exercise. They did not do it. Instead, they went and betted on the old horses, presenting them as old wine in the new bottle.
But Amit, how do you see this? Amit, I'm interested to know from you, how do you see this combination working now? You know, Omar Abdullah and the NC dealing with the Home Minister Amit Shah and the Prime Minister. You know, we have seen their history. We know what happened after the abrogation of Article 370. Some of their party members are still locked up. Both father and son duo were in detention. How is this going to work is what I'm concerned about.
See, if you look at the history of Jammu and Kashmir, any government, irrespective of whichever it is, knows that they cannot afford to spend the sector. Even when it was a state with 370-35 in place, it was dependent on center, on running the state. 90% of the state money comes from center. Now with UT in place, they know that they cannot confront the center. They have to work with the LG. LG has powers which can undermine their commitments, which can undermine the governance. So I personally, going by my experience with Abdullah's, with the history of the state, I do not think they will get into a consensus mode. The 370 would be put under the desk. They will not go at 370. Yes, statehood would be an issue, but 370 statehood is already committed by the Prime Minister. So while they can keep on talking about it, and the center will keep coming back saying that we have promised already, I think it will largely be a smooth exercise. They will not go into a consensus.
I'm not so sure about that, but let's see. It's a wait and watch game.
Such a huge mandate.
Yeah, let me also rope in Smith Singh. He's been waiting. Smith, you know, it's going to be a challenge for the Congress party. Of course, you know, you have been allies in the past with the NC as well, but when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir and with the abrogation of Article 370 and the BJP at the helm in the center, what kind of intricacies are you looking at a coalition level?
See, Congress is very clear that we are fighting for an idea of India where all the states have right in this federal structure. We want the powers. So NC was the Jammu Kashmir was a full state, and BJP made it into a union territory. That is very unique. That has never happened in India's history. We want a full statehood to be restored. That is the voice of the people, and we are together to fight for this fight. Secondly, the larger idea of the Congress is to give back the powers of the state to the state government. This idea of decentralization is very important to us, and there is going to be no issue. We're going to work out a common minimum program and go forward with it.
Okay. Do you think there are going to be issues between the center and you know, the NC in terms of how to basically keep up with the changes that, you know, they have been privy to but not been able to affect in the last 5 years after the abrogation of Article 370? Do you think that can be a point of contention?
I think what the BJP needs to learn is how to respect the democratic voice of every state. You cannot press every decision from New Delhi, and that is a value Congress really respects. We need to listen to the people of Kashmir. If they want to run governance in a certain way, that's how it should be done. That is why state governments are there for. That is why India is a federal structure. And this whole idea of sending every decision from Delhi is wrong, and one lieutenant governor ruling over the whole state is wrong. 90 MLAs are going to be there. They are going to represent voice of the people. The government is going to be in conversation with the people and take its decisions. And that's how India should be run. And we hope that is how it is there. So, and BJP should accept that people have elected this government, and they should.
Is speaking to my colleague Manohar Keshri. We're going to cut across to that conversation.
वहाँ पर जितने वायदे किए थे, गारंटियां दी थी, सब फेल हो गई। यहाँ तक कि टॉयलेट सीट टैक्स लगा दिया। वहाँ की जनता को दिया तो कुछ नहीं, उगाही करने का पूरा काम किया है। और हरियाणा की जनता जागरूक हो गई, हिमाचल वालों की तरह ठगे नहीं जाएंगे, हरियाणा को बचाएंगे। हिमाचल को दिवालियेपन की और हिमाचल की कांग्रेस की सरकार लेकर जा रही है। हरियाणा की जनता ने हरियाणा को बचाने का काम किया।
लेकिन राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस ने जो मुद्दे उठाए हैं, चाहे पहलवानों का मुद्दा हो, किसानों का मुद्दा हो, तो ये क्या फेल हो गए?
जवान, पहलवान, किसान ने खुलकर किया मतदान, और वो भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में। महिला, मजदूर हो, हर वर्ग ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को चुना है और देश में एक ही गारंटी चलती है, मोदी की गारंटी।
कांग्रेस अब जयराम रमेश ने कहा है और उन्होंने ईवीएम पे ठिकरा फोड़ा। उन्होंने कहा है कि 3 जिलों से खबर आ रही थी ईवीएम खराब चल रहा है, कहीं बैटरी फूल थी।
देखिए, जब जब कांग्रेस हारती है ईवीएम पर ठीकरा फोड़ती है, इलेक्शन कमीशन पर ठीकरा फोड़ती है, लेकिन आत्म मंथन आत्म चिंतन नहीं करती है। सबसे बड़ा दुर्भाग्य है। कांग्रेस को सोचना चाहिए कि राहुल गांधी का मॉडल बार बार फेल क्यों हो रहा है। 3 लोकसभा चुनाव लड़ने के बाद भी 100 सीट नहीं पाई, तो कांग्रेस क्यों बार बार हार करे।
कैमरा पर्सन अजय कटियार के साथ मनोहर केसरी, इंडिया न्यूज, दिल्ली।
All right, Anurag Thakur saying that Congress party needs to introspect, needs to look within. It's the 3rd Lok Sabha elections that they have lost, and this is obviously a model which is not working out for the Congress party. And he also alluded to the fact, Jasmine Sandavalia, that this is something which Rahul Gandhi perhaps is responsible for. Does this also put the ball back into, the top leadership of the Congress party, that, as long as you keep repeating the same gungan, there are going to be the same results. If you have to do something, if you want different results, you have to do something different.
You see, the results themselves are reflective that Congress really needs to revamp and rethink. I'm not from the Congress, I'm from the opposition, I'm from the BJP, and it is for them. But when you look at the results and you look at the layout and how they go electioneering, I certainly feel that they were claiming, they were very overconfident, they were very, very vocal about it, that they were going to rout the BJP out. And they were raising up the issue of the Kisan, the Pehlwan, and they were very, very critical of the Agniveer. And I have repeatedly gone on all English channels and said that Agniveer was one of the best endeavors which any political party could come up. Because you have to understand that we are a nation of 1 billion people, and the government under no circumstances has the resources and the capacity to give government jobs to each and every Indian. And this was one of the best ways to give remunerative, a decent, respectable, dignified employment to the youth of these states. And Haryana is basically an agrarian society, and it has been sending its sons as soldiers. So this was something which the Haryanavi understood, while the Congress unfortunately did not understand that Agniveer was something which was a reprieve for a Haryanavi. But while the Congress kept saying, no, this is a wrong policy. And today the results are very reflective that the Agniveer was something which translated into votes for us and our success. The infrastructure and taking everybody along. We did not say that this is the Jats are this or the OBC. We took every voter of Haryana along, while we played inclusive politics in Haryana. Rahul Gandhi, unfortunately, is playing to the gallery. Look what his ideology is in Jammu and Kashmir. He's had a pre-poll alliance with Farooq Abdullah's party. And I feel very sad as an Indian citizen that this is the first time after the abrogation of 370 article that after 7 decades, refugees from the West Pakistan will be able to vote. They were able to vote. And BJP has emerged as the second largest party in Jammu and Kashmir, and it validates our position that people respect us, people want BJP, and people are happy. While NC has performed very well in Kashmir, Congress could really not do anything much. They have probably won 6 seats. So Congress has really become redundant where it comes in Jammu Kashmir or in Haryana, and you will see that the results in Delhi and Maharashtra will again validate our position. And Rahul Gandhi's politics is really something which is not translating into victories.
Chandni, what do you think of this model that Anurag Thakur was referring to? And do you think that the Congress party perhaps has also, I know you're not from the Congress party, but as an independent analyst, as somebody who votes in this country and who understands why political parties do what they do. Do you think that the Congress party perhaps, were hyperbolic about the fact that they got 99 seats in the Lok Sabha elections? They also, in fact, got a victory in Telangana. They have a government in Karnataka as well. Do you think all these signals and signs have led to aspirations which are still unreal? Rahul Gandhi, for the most, definitely has shot up in popularity. He's not come close to the Prime Minister, but definitely his popularity has shot up. But just because you're popular doesn't mean you're right or that you will get the votes. It's a different ball game altogether. Ghalib said that, but naam honge to naam na hoga. It's that same situation. But the fact of the matter is, the Congress perhaps is still living in a bubble.
Congress has been living in a bubble since a long time. Yes, Rahul Gandhi's popularity has increased, but it has not increased to an extent that they became so overconfident in these elections that they would be winning. I mean, you look at the Jammu and Kashmir elections also. हरियाणा में बीजेपी की जो सीट्स आई है 48 सीट्स, जम्मू एंड कश्मीर प्लस हरियाणा की कांग्रेस की सीट्स मिला के भी उतनी नहीं आई है. The total of those seats is also not that much, which only Haryana BJP has got. And plus, in Jammu and Kashmir, BJP has exceeded the expectations of the people. It has performed well than Congress. So I do not even know what is Congress boasting about. They are not even forming the government in Jammu and Kashmir. It is NC that is forming the government. They are just, it's just they are tagging along. And they would be able to say that yes, we are in a coalition with the government that is forming the forming the government in the valley in the Jammu and Kashmir region. So what I would want to say is that somebody should make Rahul Gandhi understand that LOP means leader of opposition. It does not mean leader of protest, because you see today at 8 o'clock in the morning, Congress were, they were like doing laddus and jalebis. Then at 9:45 when the counting began, then 10 o'clock they were like, just these are just trends, be patient. Then at 10:15 votes are slowing down. Then at 12 o'clock EVM EC compromise. Then at 5 p.m. it was manipulation of democracy. So overall if we see, BJP ने कांग्रेस के जले और जलेबी दोनों पे नमक छिड़क दिया है. People have seen dismal economic position of Himachal, where government was not able to pay salaries to the government employees, and that was Congress, and they learned from what has happened over there. And people need to understand that the Vidhan Sabha elections are a lot more different than the Lok Sabha elections. People will vote for those people who have worked for their area, for their betterment. And they will not see that, okay, obviously there is an impact of who is going to rule the state. It is going to impact, but I think the more impact is created by the people who have worked on the ground for their as MLAs for their areas. And BJP has always been working for the people, and people have shown this in the voting pattern.
Okay, all right.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.